We're back at Settled on the Field. Welcome back, JEB and BK
To
Croup
the
Dog. How
fullest.
you doing?
BK to the fullest. Here we are, bringing you another episode, number 4, Settled on the Field. Jeb, how you feeling?
I'm excited to be back, man. So exciting from the last podcast, all the new adventures and ideas we're coming up with. Vets to refs. It's going to be just a wonderful opportunity. Billy, you want to tell us a little bit about that real quick, just to remind folks?
Yeah, we just dropped it last episode. If you didn't happen to hear it, Vets to Refs. We're trying to give opportunities for veterans to become referees, umpires, officials, anything to do with sports, from little league to middle school, high school athletics. We know that they're all facing a shortage, and we know that veterans most likely will be a good fit. We're not looking for everyone to do it, but those who are interested, go to our website, hit the Vets to Refs donation button. Take a look. There'll be more information there before you have to donate. And those funds will go through our 501c to the veterans so we can help pay for their licensing, tests, get some books, possibly some gear.
We have a ref shortage. We need you, refs, just like we need you, vets. So get out there. Don't be scared. You've tried something new. Try something new again. It's all
Continue to serve. Continue to serve the community.
Just an awesome opportunity for both the youth being able to play sports and have qualified people and good people officiating their games, and a great opportunity for our veterans to just get right back into society and, have something to look forward to every day. I know as a parent, going to my son's games is just it's what I look forward to all day long. And, I know he's looking forward to it. So to hear about games being canceled for lack of officials, it's heartbreaking. So this is an opportunity to help people that are helping people. So, I mean, not too many things you can get behind where you're really helping two entirely different groups of people. And not only does it help that, it helps the whole community. I mean, you think about a high school football game, that means everybody going out to dinner the night of the game, going to the game, going out to eat afterwards. The practices those kids put their heart and soul into. So this is just a great opportunity, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it.
That's
Those
fantastic.
Are great points. Great points.
Yeah, and one thing I didn't tell y'all last time is, there I was. I was the parent. My stepdaughter's playing softball. Get a call from the coaches, can Bill umpire the game? And I'm like, it's in like an hour. What do you mean? Yeah, well, sure. So I got on the phone. I started looking up rules. I went to their site and the regular Little League softball site, figured out some things. I show up and no one else knows that there's not a real ump or a qualified person there. It's just like the coach of her team is asking me. And so they gave me very minimal gear, didn't even have a clicker. And I had the option, with one umpire to stand either behind or near the pitcher or behind the catcher. I figured I needed to be able to see first and second base, so I went with behind the pitcher. But it was awesome. There I am. I'm calling strikes, balls, the play at the plate. It's up to you, man. You're in the game. You're settling it on the field right there. I thought it was very.
You get to settle it on the field.
Yeah, and what I found, I thought before I showed up, well, how am I gonna call her out on a strike three looking, but it wasn't no. You assume the role and you call it like you see it, and you just you feel good about contributing. So I mean, if you're on the fence, go with it.
She got to play the game. Her and 20 other girls played softball that day.
Yep.
That's where we're at. I mean, I tell parents all the time, hey, if you want to sit here and yell at the refs, we're not going to have refs. And so instead of me asking you to coach, I'm going to be making that phone call. Hey, you're umping today. You want to volunteer in the concession stand so that we can have, a nice little concession stand? Great. Or guess what? Now you're the umpire. So Vets to Refs is an opportunity to just, throw some simple money at it, and we will do the rest. We will find the vets, we'll find the gear, we'll get them signed up, and we'll get them rolling. So let me segue from that. So last week we talked a little bit about, youth sports in general, just an overbroad view of what we've experienced. We're going to focus a little more on travel sports this time. So I know Billy's son's involved in some travel baseball right now. Liz's son played some 7-on-7 football. My son played some travel hockey. So, my first question to you guys is, what I hear about travel sports is the cost, right? There's
Yes.
more
There's
than just the
definitely
actual
a
payment
cost.
to play, right? So what was your experience as far as the actual travel cost of doing it? Time away from home. Was it worth it? Did you enjoy, being gone for a whole weekend? So Liz, what about 7-on-7 football? I know they just would typically go to a college for a really, really long day, maybe two.
Yep. And at first, I was really excited because we were going some cool places actually. Chicago, Gatlinburg was sort of the penultimate ending. There was a couple in Indianapolis, so there was a couple weekends where we weren't going to have to travel, which was nice. I was thinking, okay, couple weekends at home, couple weekends I can plan ahead and make it our vacation over winter when I quite honestly want to get out of here. This was my sort of original thought. Um, and um, and I planned for it because I have points for hotels. So I was thinking, this is good. I've got hotel points. I'm going to use those and
Oh,
not
no,
have
you're
to
not.
spend a ton of money on my hotel stay. But those go pretty quickly. Yes, yes, they do.
Well,
Um,
and Liz, let me interrupt you because
oh,
in all
yeah,
all
I
the
already know
travel
what you're going to
sport
say.
all the travel sports I was involved in were play to stay or stay to play.
Yes, you have
So,
to stay where the rest of the team is
and your
staying.
points don't work.
Yeah. Right. Yes. So, we did have that experience one time. Not I was able to use it one time. So it was like an actual gift card or whatever. So I did plan for some of this, and which you have to do if you're going to be in travel sports. You need to be planning how am I going to pay for these hotels when I don't want to necessarily pay for these hotels, and the extra meals and the extra gas and all of that comes into play with it. So luckily 7-on-7's not a real long season. Um and it's not there wasn't a ton of like out of towns. So I have friends who have daughters and sons who do softball travel, and they're gone almost every weekend 5 months out of the year. And probably even more. To be honest. They got an RV.
Oh,
So
wow.
I think they're saving some money. Now I don't know. They probably do stay in the hotels. I'm sure like you said, a lot of it is you need to. So I think it's a little bit of both. Um, but it is a lot of time commitment and
So
extra money.
you're hitting me where it hurts, Jeb, with this first one because the time commitment is ahead of me. Right now, we've got one winter workout on Thursday evenings for baseball in the winter in January. That's okay. Talk about 9-year-olds here. We got multiple events every single holiday weekend. There's a tournament in the summer.
That is a
Oh, Mother's
Every
downfall.
Day too, Father's
Mother's
Day,
Day, Father's Day, 4th of July, um,
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, Labor Day, every single one of them. And so, first of all, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I can tell you right now, he might not be at one of those. That might just be a command decision. And if they get an L or if they get a W without him, we'll just have to figure it out. But the time commitment for me, already, I'm in a blended family, and my boys live with their mother, and it's a little bit of a drive to pick him up sometimes. And so I'm going to be driving. He could play baseball at his rec league, and it's travel for me. So I'm hoping that some of the driving is even closer, but I already know that the hotel situation is going to be rough. His younger brother doesn't like sports and doesn't want to sit there for 2 hours or 3 hours or multiple games. And so it's going to be a battle every single weekend as to what to do with the other kids. And one kid should not run the entire family schedule, but we're about to see how it goes with the juggling and see how good I can juggle.
Well, so that leads to my next question. So those, I mean, there were some positives in there from everybody. So my next question, what are some of the pros of the travel sports? Now, with Liz's son, he got recruited to play some college football. So, he's kind of on the end of it, and the 7-on-7 is unique in the aspect of um, it's skilled position football players getting to show off their talents, right? So
Sure.
that's a pro. Like, I think you get to show your speed, your agility, your effort, Um, but it takes a lot to stand out in that arena too, I mean, you don't get thrown the ball every play.
That's
Where
true.
Bill, your son, 9-year-old baseball player. I mean, what are the pros of playing 9-year-old travel baseball? Like,
I mean, there's pros. I can't right now. I have a little negative slant to it, but he gets the opportunity to play ball. He gets the opportunity to be with his friends, his teammates. Good high
so
majority are his friends ahead of time.
right. So that was my other question.
Those
One of my
repetitions.
right. One of my other questions, and the way they make these travel teams, it seems that it's a couple parents get together and they want to all be on the same team. So they don't want to have to coach little Johnny that's, a pain in the backside, or, they want to guarantee they're on the same team as the next door neighbor. So they make a team. So I think one of the pros is you have a little more control over your team dynamics.
Sure. Yeah, there's his friends and the coaches. I mean, they know each other. They get to select. You could be more selective and with the players on the team in travel. Hopefully, you're not excluding people strictly on the cost. Um, that does come into play, I'm sure, for some people, especially in this particular travel team. If you're on that travel team, you also have to play in the rec league, which now we have weekends and weekdays. Like multiple games, potentially 4 or 5 in a week all summer.
Yes.
We're not
So
talking
that
about we're not talking
that
about someone making $100 million in the MLB here. We're just talking about someone trying to have fun.
right. That is a big thing I'm seeing is both the rec and travel in the baseball organizations. Um, I think it's nice because then the kids can play rec and they can just play and have fun. And then they get to go on the travel side on the weekend and it's a little more serious. Maybe some better competition, not necessarily always, but I really like that aspect of it. But then, like you said, it does add to the time factor. Um, you know,
Jeb, do you think you're seeing that because are the rec leagues losing players to travel? Or why do you think they're
yes.
forcing you to do both, I guess?
Yep. So they're basically the rec leagues. So when you have a rec league, you need some volunteers. You need somebody that will organize a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people, scheduling games, umpires, facilities, right? So rec leagues, Little League, Cal Ripken, they have homes, they have facilities. So what happens is a group of people go to that organization and they start playing as really little, and then they have an all-star team, and then they take the all-star team and they make it into little more of a travel thing. And then, then those people are like, well, let's just all do travel so we're always on the same team. And so that's what's happening in baseball. And thankfully, some of those people are sticking it out on the volunteer side and keeping those organizations afloat so that you can have, just your average kid out there. And I think parents like it because it eliminates a little bit of the travel, because you can, you have a whole rec season, so you're getting your 15 games, and then you don't necessarily have to travel every single weekend. I know with the group I worked with at the Cal Ripken Park I was at, and we would have 3 weekends set aside during the year where they could go travel. So the travel kids went and played travel those weekends, and the other weekends we were able to keep them in the park, and that's dwindling.
That's pretty cool if there's coordination like that. I'm just looking forward to see how it all plays out. So I can't really speak to it. Like I said, I'm not all negative on it. I'm excited to see him play against better competition, allegedly. I guess my question to you is, everything's going to travel, and it's a tough decision for the parent and for the player to make, like at this level, 9, 10, 11, 12. But like, what does that look like when you get into high school? Because to me, high school sports kind of reflect the rec side as you get older. And I think if travel takes over like it has in other sports for baseball, like is high school baseball still important? I guess is the question.
So that is a big debate. I mean, high school baseball is still big time because you're playing for your school, and it's very, structured. They have a state tournament and it's defined. But yeah, more and more, it seems like the travel coaches are controlling more. And, once the high school season starts, you cannot play for a travel organization during the high school season. So that's a Indiana high school rule. But
That's good.
If you want to play on the high school team,
you can't play on both at the same time. But with that said, you can play on your travel basketball team at the same time as your baseball season, right?
yeah,
Or
right.
you could be on your travel hockey team while your baseball season's going on. So, it's not just the one sport you're playing. And I know a lot of kids do play multiple sports, and some of them play travel in all of them. So, it's
Which
just a
we
slippery slope.
in the previous episode, I think all three of us advocated for kids to play multiple sports. But I don't know that I would be on that side of saying it's okay that you missed your basketball practice because you're at travel hockey tonight. Like, to me, that's why I
Your
gave my.
in-season sport is
I
basically your sport.
mean,
That's what it.
I
give
agree.
it a little bit of focus.
I
But that
agree. And at the high
goes,
school level, I think that's 100% correct.
but that goes
At
like to the question is like, is high school the high school sport? And the question was on baseball, but is that more important than the travel? Because at some point you have to choose which practice or which game to be at. And you can't always go with, I'll go with the game and not the practice. You're either going to get cut or there's going to be two games.
From the little amount of kids that I know that do both, that play travel baseball or softball in high school, they choose to play for their team. They choose to play for their high school. And I think
So,
that there still is that camaraderie, that pride of playing for your team. I think that hasn't gone away, which is good.
yeah, and I think the travel organizations have basically accepted at high school level that they don't conflict, right? So,
Try not to.
yeah, if you're on a high school baseball team, you're on the high school baseball team. But the second it's over, I mean, you lose in the sectional on Tuesday, that Saturday, you're probably at a tournament for your travel team.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yes.
there's no in between. So,
And if you're going on to play softball, baseball the next year in college, you're playing that summer before you go to college too. In the travel league.
Yeah. So, the travel leagues so they're not even leagues usually. It's just tournaments. So one of the things you're hearing is travel leagues. So they're trying to start like super leagues. So Indiana will have a travel baseball super league, and they'll have the top teams from Indiana be in a league, right? What you run into is those teams don't always have facilities to practice or play in. right? So they're paying to use somewhere, which increased their costs. So my question is, what are your thoughts on the tournament organizations? I mean, they are 100% money making machines, and there's no oversight. There's no one telling them, yes, you can. So I'll give an example. My son plays travel hockey. There is oversight with the USA Hockey, which is a very well ran organization, but we play hockey games on Friday afternoon in the middle of school. We play at the University of Notre Dame on a Friday morning at 10:30 for a 13, 12, 10-year-old hockey game.
And
Like,
what
And
is
what does the school say? Like when you're
There you
like,
go.
he's got to go. I got to go to the hockey. They don't
I mean,
care.
it's I beg my wife to send that email. Like,
Well,
Or do you
something
just say he's sick today?
no, they know, because there's 3 or
They
4
know.
kids in their class that are all on the same team, and all of a sudden Friday they got to leave at noon because they got to go
Yeah.
to their hockey tournament. Like,
Yeah, that's sort of an awkward
It's an
it's
awkward
situation, I
situation,
guess.
and that's almost that student athlete. You're a student first in order to be able to play. I'm sure their grades are staying up, and they might have to do makeup work, but there's only so many absences you're allowed, and obviously you keep that in check. But
but so there's no oversight on that. I mean, who's stopping these travel people? Why can't they just play all week?
Yeah, that's true.
well, think
Well-
okay. We talked about the Olympics. What about like a gymnast who's 10 or 11 and USA Gymnastics? They don't even go to school. They're just gone. I don't know what. And it's been this way for a long time, so I don't even know what they do. They just take some online courses or something, homeschooling.
Talking about a soccer team?
Yeah, we've seen I think it was Indy Premier Soccer Club, and I seen the post, and it was just yesterday in the middle of the week. They're in Orlando.
Yeah,
they're out of
So
state.
there you
So
go.
that didn't just take the morning. You
No.
come back. I mean, that's probably a full week. It's not spring break. And I'm not saying don't ever do that. I just wonder, like,
It does seem like the student athlete has become a little bit more like athlete who goes to school. In the realm of high school. I mean, it seems like it's kind of going that route. And we're letting it. I mean, like, people are letting it. Like, if you as a parent are like, I want my kid to go to this tournament, technically, what are they gonna do?
Guilty. I'm guilty.
Well, hey,
I mean,
We're allowing it. If everyone said, well, I'm not bringing my kid to that tournament because they got to go to school, they would probably change the dates.
Sure. I remember the
But
first
you
time
have
I
to
traveled.
get everybody to do it, and everybody's not going to do it.
The first
Everybody
time I
doesn't
traveled
have
for
that-
work.
That mentality.
The first time I traveled for work, the entire plane, and this was during the Tuesday to Thursday trip, the entire plane was full of high school kids going to some tournament. And I was just like, don't they need to be in school? But hey, we could talk about the education system maybe another day, because it's probably broken enough that these people are making a wise choice. But
well, so I mean, again, travel sports is something we can talk a lot about. Where the Super Bowl's coming up, so we're talking 49ers and Chiefs. I mean, it's Taylor Swift versus the whole city of San Francisco.
that Tay Super Bowl is upon us.
Red versus Red, Taylor's version.
Oh,
If you guys know anything about Taylor, then you know what I'm talking about.
All I know is that
Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs.
Do you got a score prediction? I'm gonna write it down.
I'm not writing it down, but I got a score prediction. It's going to be
right.
34-24.
Who you got?
I'm going to go 49ers.
Woo, 34.
Hey,
KC with the loss.
Brock Purdy, he's like a walk-on warrior.
All right, I do love
like
I do love that Brock Purdy aspect, but those Chiefs are rolling. I mean, they've been on fire. And
Hey, back to
while
back.
San Francisco did make that major comeback, I mean, they made a major comeback. It's anybody's game. I'm just going Chiefs. Jeb's got the 49ers. All right.
You gonna give us a score, or are you just going straight Chiefs?
Oh, me? Let me think for a minute.
Hey, and Liz, the Chiefs 2 weeks had to use the end zone to keep their defense alive. A fumble out of the end zone and a
That was
fumble
close.
at the goal line into the end zone
That
recovered
was
by the
them both
defense.
weeks. That was them both
Yeah.
weeks.
2 weeks in a row.
Indeed.
It's a good point.
Rules at the goal line.
At least the fumble by the Ravens on the goal line when he punched it out was clear and obvious. You know what I mean? Could you imagine if his knee was a millimeter off or the ball was right? I mean, it was
that would have been a
short
nightmare.
and he was in the air.
Hey, what was the call on the field on that play?
Fumble recovered by the defense.
Dude, these are the fastest dudes on the entire planet. A bang bang play at the goal line, and that referee nailed the call. His beanbag came out to mark a fumble. They immediately singled recovery, touchback. Like, we're talking 4 inches, 2 inches away from being a touchdown,
Right.
and they nailed it on the field. That was an incredible call.
All right, I'm going to tell you who I'm taking, and I have a little story to go with it. It's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, 38, San Francisco 35. So that means they're going to be down by 3. Butker's going to have a field goal. But here's the thing. San Francisco's going to be down by 10. And if you guys been listening to me, they're going to go for the touchdown first, and they're going to get it. Maybe Kittle. And guess what? They're going to waste too much time going for 7, and then they won't either get the ball back or won't have time to kick a field goal. And what I'm trying to tell the audience here is if you're down 10, you should kick that field goal first when you're in your field goal kicker's range. You have more time to either stop them on defense and get the ball back, and you can score 7 from 99 yards away. That's my theory. I haven't seen anybody do it yet. And when they do end up kicking the field goal first, it's after the 4 plays that they just wasted time and they didn't get a first down. Anyways, 38-35, Mahomes rolls on.
Can I change my
that
score?
That is quite the prediction, Kruper.
I'm calling
okay,
it
yes.
right now.
That is that's detailed. Okay, Jeb, I want to hear your new score.
I told you so's will be thrown at the TV.
I'm going to change my score. It's going to be 27. No.
I'm going to wait till you're ready.
It's going to be...
a pencil.
I have a pen.
Think how this is going to work. So the 49ers are going to win, and they're going to win on a field goal, but they were going to be down 2. So I need to score. So they're going to win
by 1.
27-20.
This guy's getting serious. Look at him. He's looking into the crystal ball.
So it's going to come in down to my rule of the day here. So.
Oh, nice. What is the rule of the day? Give us a score first.
All right. So it's going to be 28-27. Somehow they're going to be at 25 and kick a game-winning field goal.
Okay. Man, you guys were really prepared with your prediction. I didn't have plays ready.
I've just been thinking about this tactic that I never see anyone kick the field goal first, and they always run out of time, and it's driving me nuts.
That happened last week. They were right there. They were on the 20. They could have kicked the field goal. They
wasted over 50 seconds on first, second, and third down, and then they settled for a field goal.
The Lions should have just kicked the field goal and not have gone for it.
Let me tell you what about the Lions, real quick.
I'm going 36. Just let me get this out before I forget. 36-34.
Wow. How do you even score 36 points in a football game? Tell me how they got to those points, Liz.
You never know.
It's doable. It's a Super Bowl.
Totally possible. Anything's possible.
Point. The Lions
usually
end of the first half. End of the first half. It's fourth and goal from about the 1.5, maybe 2 yard line. What did coach decide to do? Kick the field goal. And I'm telling you right now, he didn't normally do that. It was probably the smart play. But the team deflated because they kicked the field goal and didn't punch it home for the knockout blow. They come out in the second half. San Francisco starts running it right at them. They collapse. Then he had the same choice. Should I kick the field goal? And what did he do in the second half? They went for it because he knew kicking the field goal deflated his team. So they went for it and they didn't get it, lose the game.
That's a good point.
All right. I'm ready to hear the rule of the day so I know how this outcome is going to occur.
All right.
Yeah, get us to 28-27 there, sir.
So everybody got their rule books out?
Yep.
All right. So, rule of the day. Get the number for you. Sorry. So, we're talking free kicks.
Ooh.
All right?
Yeah,
So,
sure.
rule 2-26. This is what's going to happen in the Super Bowl. The 49ers are going to be down 27-25. How they get to 25, I have no idea. I've never seen anybody have 25 points in a football
Just
game.
like, I don't know how they're going to get to 36, but it could happen.
Exactly. So everybody with the 5 in their square is going to be going nuts, right?
Sure.
The Chiefs are going to have the ball at the end of the game, and they're going to be forced to kick out of their own end zone. All right?
Punt.
So they're going to punt out of their own end zone.
Okay.
With basically 12, maybe 14 seconds left, but they have to punt the ball. They can't just take a knee. They can't run a play and run out the clock. They, instead of taking a safety, which would tie the game, they have to punt. So the Chiefs punt. The
Very
49ers catch the ball 42-yard line on a fair catch.
The fair catch free kick.
Fair catch free kick. Right? So now the 49ers have the ball at the 42-yard line. And they can elect to free kick from that spot, which is just like a kickoff. Not a snap and a hold.
They can do this at any time.
Anytime you fair catch.
Anytime you fair. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Most non-used thing ever.
Yeah, this will be amazing.
Never seen it happen. But when it happens, this thing's going viral. 24, right? So the 49ers are going to catch the punt with a fair catch.
Debo catches a fair catch.
And they're going to hold the ball for their kicker, and he could put it on a tee if he wants, and he's going to kick it through the uprights for 3 points, and they win the game.
You said, hold on. I got one question before I let my laughter and reaction come through. But you can put it on a tee, but can he also do like a drop kick? And can he do a punt? So. Can he do a punt through the uprights like it's rugby?
I believe so.
Any type of kick?
I believe so.
Hence free kick.
Yes.
And what is the rush limitation on
10
this?
10 yards back. They don't get to rush, I don't think.
If this happens in any game in my lifetime, I'm going to come buy you a beer.
I've never seen it happen. I've heard that it's happened, but I've never seen it.
I think it did happen about 3 years ago in the NFL, and it clearly didn't work for them or something. But people are like, what?
I really want to see this happen at some point.
And you're saying
we need to find a game.
The win.
Yeah, game over. Walk off free kick game winner.
Walk off free kick game winner.
Win the Super Bowl. That'll be more amazing than when the Rams lost on the goal line tackle.
That'll be enough to make Taylor Swift cry on the spot.
Taylor Swift will not be able to handle what happens there. She will just be sitting she will not understand what happened. But
nobody will.
Neither will I.
The only people that will understand are the people that listen to this podcast. Settled on the field.
Field.com.
And when everyone at the party you're at starts screaming, "That's not legal! What are they doing?" You're going to say, "That is Rule 2-26. That's absolutely rule. Pull out your rule book."
Look it up.
Yep. Here, I'll
I'm
show
changing
you
my
the video.
score to 27-24. My score was too close to Bill's score.
All right, that's fine.
27-24.
I got
There you go.
28-27, 49ers on your rule of the day. Liz,
Legit.
what do you got from beyond the bench?
Well, I'm still recovering from that. Both of your explanations of what's going to happen. You
Very
were so
specific
very
predictions, by the way.
specific and well prepared.
And we did
Maybe
not
next time I'll have a better prediction. But
I was winging it.
the coming at you now from beyond the bench for a recruiting tip. This is a recruiting tip. It is also a tip for life. This is a tip for both of you. This is a tip for me. This is a tip for anyone who's trying something new or wants to get better at something. And the tip is this. I learned this from my favorite comedian, Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry.
There was a comedian that told Jerry Seinfeld, he said, where do you get your material? How do you get so funny? Like, what are you doing to get your material so great? And Jerry's tip was to this young and up and coming comedian, you don't sit at home and just think of knock jokes. You can't just write jokes. You have to write. You have to write every day. And he told him to get out a calendar.
Paper calendar within arm's reach.
I do. I have a paper calendar right here.
Wow. Oh, didn't expect that response.
I use it every day.
Likewise.
And I'm going to tell you what Jerry Seinfeld's tip to this fellow was to every single day write for an hour every single day. And every single day, you take your calendar, your paper calendar. What's today? And you write and you cross off every day that you actually write. And you use a bright red marker, get in there and cross out that day. Every single day that you write. Okay? And every day that you do this, you start a pattern. You start a habit. And you will become better at your craft. So, if your craft is making a podcast, do something for it every single day. If your craft is you want to make the basketball team next year, you better get out there for an hour and dribble and hoop and practice every single day. If your goal is to play for the Ohio State University, you had probably start emailing those coaches every single day. You can email them, you can DM them on Twitter, you can fill out the recruiting questionnaire. You need to be reaching out. And so every single day, if you are a recruit, you should be spending at least an hour a day on reaching out. It is a job to get recruited, okay? It is a job. Now,
send them your wow workout of the week.
Send them, get on Twitter, at them, tag them, put in your extra workout, your wow workout of the week. Spend some time doing outreach to these coaches. So you are one of thousands, I don't know, millions who want to play at the next level. And their inboxes are full. They're full. So one email is probably not going to get it done. But if you have a school in mind, keep after him. Keep sending him those DMs. Just keep after it. That squeaky wheel gets the grease. Okay? So maybe you have one school in mind. I would never, to be honest with you, tell you to only email one school because don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? But what the experts say, reach out to all the schools in a 4-state radius, your state and every state that surrounds it, and send emails to every school and see what kind of feedback you get. And so, in order to do that, that's going to take a lot of time. So, every day, spend some time sending emails, sending tweets, whatever you're the most comfortable with. And I would say do each. You're going to start by sending an email. You might be lucky enough to be able to send a DM. Some coaches have their DMs open and some don't. So if not, you got to get a response from them on their email, get them to follow you on Twitter so that you can then send them messages on Twitter. So that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort.
That's just a little bit of research. You might want to get a notebook to track what you're doing.
Yeah, or a calendar. So get your calendar and cross out every day that you do it and start a streak. And if you're not ready for recruiting, work on your skills. Go outside and play some basketball, and you don't even have to play your own sport. If you're sick of okay, I need a break from I've been playing basketball every single day for 30 days. I'm going to go play football today just to break it up. I'm going to go run on the track. I'm going to go play soccer. I'm going to do something to break it up, but that's enhancing your skills. Cross it off. It feels good to cross things off your calendar.
So do something to be persistently consistent.
Absolutely. Consistency is key. And that is the tip of the day.
Wonderful tip.
Man, I like that consistency theme. Thanks, Liz. Yeah, you just talked about consistency, and obviously that flows through a lot of things, especially with workouts. I just showed my calendar with a bunch of things crossed off. It wasn't for emailing somebody every single day. It was for other purposes. But if you're going to stay consistent and you want to develop good habits in the workout arena, these 3 things I want you to work on, because they're going to help you with your explosiveness that we talked about last episode. It's the bench press, the squat, and the clean. They're going to be 3 lifts that get measured. They're going to come in, you're going to get tested. What can you do? And then you're going to do all these other workouts, all these other lifts, all these other categories. And it's always going to come back to, what do you bench? What do you squat? What do you clean? Are you part of the 750 club? Are you in the 1,000 club? Where are you at when you add these 3 things together? Obviously, bench
isn't. Can you
isn't.
explain that to me? Because I would like to know what the 750 club is.
Well,
is that adding it together? Or is that like what I can squat?
No, that's adding those 3 together. So
okay,
you're going to come in, you're going to say, well, bench, what does that have to do with being explosive? I think most people, when you say explosive, they're thinking of like somebody's explosive off the line and they're really fast. But as a lineman or a linebacker or a fullback, if anyone's still using them, H-back, tight end, you've got to explode into the player across from you. I mean, it happens every single play, using your arms. So the squat is going to be, I would say, your number one exercise that you need to get comfortable with. If your squat numbers are low, you need to be working on them. I'm not going to get into technique right now, but your squat number and your squat ability, you're going to do tests of, you literally have a max, or you either set a certain like 225 and see how many reps you can get. It's important for speed, for agility, for explosiveness, for endurance, etc. And then the clean. So if you most people, I would say, like in the high school level, unless you've got a fantastic lifting coach, they don't do that every day. It's not part of their workout. Take a look at some YouTube videos, get some advice from your coach. But
How do you do the clean?
The clean is something that is basically the bar is in front of you. You stand about feet shoulder width apart. Come up with the bar, and I can't really do it from the seated position. I don't really want to stand right now, but you come up and explode right like that. So you're doing the motion all in one thing. So it lifts up. So you're using your back, your legs, your arms, and then it should just basically be the bar with a lot of weight on it should be flying up like this, and then you catch it like that.
Okay.
And that for me was a very difficult one, and it had nothing to do with the weight. It was technique, but it was also I had broken my arm and my wrist. I could do this right here. This wrist will not go back as far as this wrist. So when the bar came down and my wrist would go back as far and it would hurt every single time. I just had to get used to that. But anyways, there's technique for that, for the clean, the squat, and the bench. So those are the three lifts that I'd say you should already know, but you should focus on those. And just like last time when I said for the vertical, the broad jump, and the 40, like it's only going to help those, but those are the measurables, and that's some of the data that you can write down, get your max, see how many you can do, and that way you can track your performance as you go. But when I first started this and said walk on warriors, and Liz just gave us a great advice for everybody. You might say, well, who's he talking to, right? Who's a walk on warriors? Is this dude walked on a Ball State and he's reaching out to like 2 people or 1 person at every school? But that's all of us. That's you. That's me. We could all be walk-on warriors. Now, I was explicitly looking for people who are walking on to any team, not just a football team, because as we said before, like you're really showing something. We want you to follow along with us. But if you're that person who needs to try something new, or if you haven't been to the gym because you just gave up already on your New Year's thing, convince yourself that you're
or
about
you
to
didn't start yet.
or you didn't start.
February 1st is my New Year's Day.
I'd like to
A
sign
lot of
up for
people say that.
I'd like to sign up for the gym on February, so that way there's all those people that are going to disappear already gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it could be anybody. So, I mean, I'm not telling myself, 47-year-old man, to go start benching, squatting, and cleaning just so I can increase some numbers or something like that. But some of these challenges and some of the concepts for being consistent and getting habits going in your life for positive effect, that's for everybody. So that's the walk on warrior workout of the week. Make sure you follow along. # wow wow.
Man, I don't know that I can do those 3.
I don't know if we can do these ones.
I can definitely
the squat. Could do some squats. You
I'd
could squat
struggle.
without weight.
You could definitely do a squat without weights. You can do the bench by doing push-ups without weights, right? I mean, build yourself up. The clean is a little, I mean, like I said, I couldn't even show you, but properly
You could do the clean with just the bar. Don't put any weights on it.
Definitely start with just the bar.
You could start like that.
Do you know how much just the bar weighs?
45?
45 pounds. So
Dang,
they have, they have like the curl bars with the W, and that's going to obviously not weigh as much, but
that's the one I'd need to use.
Yeah.
Maybe can I like put 2 Twix bars in my hand and do it?
I don't know. I thought you were going to see cats with that cat walking around.
Yeah, Kit Kat knocked your book over.
Oh no, the book of the day was Brian Bosworth.
Yeah, so we covered the Super Bowl predictions. I thought we were a little bit wild with them, to be honest, but I'm still sticking with my Kansas City. Talk about travel sports. We talked about our Walk On Warrior workout of the week. We got recruiting tips. We got the rule of the day. Is there anything you all want to wrap up with?
Well, I got the Olympic sport. We're down to our final new category, new sport.
Can't wait.
New sport.
So
last week we heard about surfing. So what could it be today?
You guys want to guess?
Yes, let's guess.
So
far we've talked about stunt.
Okay.
We've talked about
stunt was
stunt was for D3. Made it an official sport.
Yeah. Oh dang, that wasn't an Olympic sport. My bad.
No, breakdancing.
I don't know why.
We started with breakdancing, which is going to be amazing, and I don't know how they're going to judge.
Breakdancing, speed climbing, surfing.
Speed climbing, surfing.
I don't have a guess.
This one will make Tony Hawk proud.
Nice. Skateboarding.
There's going to be
Is it-
two types.
Skateboarding.
It's okay. Go ahead. I was just gonna say, it's gonna be the X Games, but just in the Olympics, or is it gonna be some different things?
Right. So there's going to be two different types. One is called park, and the other one is called street. So the park
Okay.
competition is kind of like the bowl that you have, and there's various combinations of bowls and slides. Different bends in the bowl, and they can go round and round. So it's kind of like a big swimming pool with rounded edges, and then there's a course inside of it. So there'll be jumps and slides. And it's all.
Do
Go
we
ahead.
know if it's freestyle? It can go in any path that you choose, or do they have to like it's a video game and you have to hit this and hit this and hit this?
So the skateboarders in that are judged by their height and speed, the tricks they carry out during jumps, as well as their capacity to use the entire surface and all obstacles. They
There we
perform 3 45-second runs, with the best of 3 counting as their final round score.
Nice.
Okay.
And they do a preliminary round and then a final round.
You know what I'm picturing? So look, skateboarding was kind of a thing for my group of friends when I was like, I don't know, 9 to 12. Everyone was doing it. Tony Hawk was big already way back then. And you always had some people who just didn't really care, but they had a skateboard and they never really got good. Like myself, cared about bigger and better things, in my opinion. And I just can't wait to see some country with somebody who's like, I'm going to be the skateboard person. Let me practice for 6 months, and it's going to be hilarious.
You think they're gonna make it to the Olympics? They gotta get kicked out. You can't just be making it just because you're the only guy in the country who's been doing it for 6 months.
A last place team on any Olympic sport. I mean, come on, you're gonna be the last place guy.
I'm looking forward to that too.
So then the other version of it is called the street event, and it's like a street-like course with stairs, handrails, set up to resemble the urban environment. And there
you're going to
Yep, you're going to perform a range of tricks, and you get 2 45-second runs and 5 tricks that they must carry out.
Oh wow. Okay. Only 45 seconds. That doesn't seem very long.
No, but only 5 tricks. So, you slide, you jump down the stairs, do a big jump, and, you're 3/5 of the way there.
Do you get to freestyle a little?
Yeah, that's all. I mean, that's all.
Yeah, I imagine we'll be seeing some highlights. This one might not be on Thursday night NBC at 8 p.m.
Yeah, I don't know. People like skateboarding, those Tony Hawks.
It's a new sport, so you never know.
And there's going to be some wipeouts, I imagine, that we're going to be seeing some highlights of those.
It's happening right in downtown Paris at La Concorde Urban Park.
That could be hype.
It is definitely a little X game Olympic
crossover.
I just wonder who advocates to the Olympic board to be like, skateboarding, it needs to be in there.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Question.
I mean, that's for any of the new sports.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing for us to look into and report back, because I don't know if anybody knows that.
My assumption would be the skateboard companies.
Oh, there you go.
Probably.
And van shoes. I mean,
that could
are you allowed to skateboard without wearing Vans or Converse or I don't know what the shoe choice is.
They got kind of the sticky bottom, those shoes keep you on the skateboard.
I'm excited. So my thought on the skateboarding, the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is the designs of the boards. Like, remember back in the day, the bottom of your board had an awesome design.
Oh yeah.
I
wonder if they're all going to have like their flag on the bottom, or are they going to do like?
Oh yeah, I bet they're going to be customized out. Man, they're going to look awesome. I bet
helmets. Yeah, helmets will be flare.
Yep.
Yeah, those will be cool.
So hopefully, just another sport for the Americans to dominate.
Yeah, it seems like something we would dominate at, but I'll be interested to see Japan in skateboarding. I'll be interested to see maybe China. Just they've got that, you know, they've got it down. When they work on something, they work on something.
They've got methods. They're consistent.
They use their calendars and they mark off what's going on.
Well,
Consistency is their
LIZ
name.
crew, we did it. Join us again next time on Settle It on the Field. Visit us at settleitonthefield.com. Check out our Vets to Ref shirts. Give us a little donation. Help us get some guys and gals out there officiating your kids' sports. And remember when you're at the game to thank the officials and the coach, and make sure you're being a good parent.
I just
Other
want
than
to
that,
challenge each of you to bring a video of you doing either the broad jump,
I'll send you a video tomorrow, like via
the
text.
clean. I want to see you doing the clean with the bar only, because I don't want you to get hurt. Or, I mean, really, I want to see all of us run the 40-yard dash. I mean, I think next time we're all together, we should do the 40-yard dash.
Oh, I'm gonna get smoked. Woo.
I want us to do that.
I can probably get you a video of the broad jump.
Yeah, let's go.
Maybe the 40.
Let's go with the broad jump. Start.
Broad jump to start.
I'm gonna bring you my broad jump. I will be looking forward to seeing yours. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
LIZ, the boss broadcaster. Bringing the broad and broadcasting since 1999.
Putting the broad in broadcasting and putting the broad in broad jumping.
There you go.
We'll see how we can do. All right, fellas. Thank you so much. Have a good night. See you next time.
We'll see you guys real soon.
Peace. See ya. This dude's dropping.
Thank you for listening to Settled on the Field. Be sure to email us your questions and suggestions to settledonthefield@gmail.com. Follow us on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Settled on the Field was produced by Spencer McNally. See you next time.